Hey everyone, Coach Wayne here. Today I want to talk about how you handle and what do you do when you're losing the game. It's going to happen. There's going to be a period where you should be winning, but you're losing the game. And how do you, as a leader, team leader, captain, peer leader, whatever you are on the team, how are you going to respond? How are you going to help the team? And what actions are you going to take? So, one, you've got to understand your skill sets. What can you do? What can you control? And how do you get there? Two, talent. You don't have to be the absolute best talent on the team. It's great that if you are, it's great if you're better than the person on the other team. But that only gets you so far. And three is your composure. How are you going to handle what you do? So number one, what I want you to take a look at is and to understand what can you control. So you're on the football field and you're down by 2 touchdowns. You're playing volleyball. You're behind by 3 points in the set. The softball team, you're down 11-3. The baseball team, somebody else is beating you 7-2. You're in the 6th inning. How are you going to control that? And what are you going to take a look at? At the end of the day, you're part of a team, but you can't control one, what the other team does. Two, what your teammates are going to do. You can't have an influence on what they do, how you respond, and how they respond. So number two is think about what are your mistakes. As you go through and look at what you've done, there's a good chance that you've made a mistake and you're not feeling too good about it. That you can control. If you haven't made a mistake, that's great. You need to be able to look at and understand your teammates. What have they done? What mistakes have they made? How can you help them? Because as you go through and you look at the mistakes, you need to understand that it is simply a mistake. It's going to happen. It doesn't matter what team you're on, what sport you're playing. You're even going to see it with the coaches. You're going to see it with the umpires. You're going to see it with the fans, with the parents. We all make mistakes. Whether we're doing it on the field, in our life, in the corporate world, it doesn't matter. What really matters is how you respond. So, three, what are your next steps? You've made a mistake, and I'll go back to one of the games that we played last night where the team got down by several points on the softball field. And as we went through, I could see that several of the players were down on themselves. And so we've worked through a process internally of how we go through looking at and evaluating not only internally what we're doing, but also being able to recognize what the rest of the players are doing. So you have identified your mistake. Your next step should be to resolve that mistake. Maybe it was a one time, that's good, and you move forward, right? But if it's a mistake you've made once or twice, you need to make sure that you are addressing what you are doing and how you're going to resolve that mistake and make sure that it doesn't happen again. As you go through the next level, you need to understand that as you, one, have made a mistake, two, you're working to fix that, you've got to remove the emotion from what you've done. We have a tendency to get angry, to get upset with ourselves, to feel bad about ourselves, to potentially come in and really get down on ourselves to the point where it's even worse because we're going to make more mistakes thinking about the previous mistakes. You have to let go of the previous mistake. Simply fix it and move on. As you do that, what you're going to find, everybody else is watching you. Your teammates are watching you. Your coaches are watching you. And you need to understand how what you do next after you make that mistake is going to impact and affect not only you, but your teammates. If you realize that you're going into the red and you've had a bad game, one, after you've identified that and understand that, you can pull yourself back out and maybe get up to a yellow and maybe even get back to a green. After you go in and go to the next play, give it everything that you've got. Lead by example. Be a vocal leader helping out your teammates. Communication. Most of the time, people don't realize communication is 80% visual and 20% what you say. So even though you tell your teammates and you say, yep, that was my mistake, I'm going to fix it. What does your face show? How does your body language show it? Are you hanging your head? Are you standing up tall? Are you going after it? And especially as a team leader, the younger players are watching you for guidance. So when you get down on yourself, you have to realize it's up to you to pull yourself back out, because they see what you're doing. If they see you say, I made the mistake, but you hang your head and you make the mistake again, it deflates what they're doing. It impacts your teammates. So I'm not telling you to fake it, although sometimes that helps. What I'm getting you to understand is you've got to remove the emotion from that mistake and drive forward. As you resolve your own mistakes, as you think about not only what you're going to do to fix the mistake, how are you going to respond yourself? Are you going to lift your head and be positive? Or are you going to be an example for your teammates? And you go through doing that. Now start encouraging your teammates. Not only did I made the mistake, but come on, Wayne, take care of this. John, you got this. Sue, I'm behind you 100%. I'll make sure I don't do that again. And if you need help, I'll lift you up. Then step on the gas. When you do that, you set an example for the rest of your team to come back in and to do the exact same thing. If they see you making a mistake, especially when you're losing the game, and then you go after it with everything you've got, with a positive attitude, encouraging them, it actually is like a wave that goes through your team. They will respond. And if you have a team captain or another team leader with you, have the conversation with them briefly. Hey, we've got to get past this. We've got to flush our mistakes like you're flushing it down a toilet. We're going to get rid of it. We're going to fix it, clean it up. We've got to help the team move to the next level. When you do that, when you step on the gas and you drive forward, the team will respond. This is what makes one of the most important differences between losing teams and winning teams. Because when you turn around, you step on the gas and you fix these problems, you've addressed it, your composure is good, they see you leading, going forward to the next level, they will respond and do the same things. If you go into a hole, they will follow you in. If you take charge and lead to the front, they will follow you. So step up today and realize and recognize when you're losing. Are you making mistakes? Get rid of the emotions, simply fix it, and help drive your team forward. If your team is making mistakes and maybe you haven't, you need to acknowledge the mistakes. You need to work with that teammate and say, Wayne, I know you made that mistake. I'm here to back you up. I will help take care of you. You know how to fix it. I know how to fix it. Now let's just do it and let's beat this other team. And if you win the game, it becomes a feeling of the underdog coming from behind that is fantastic. If you lose, the team feels so much better because you've taken another step up those stairs to be an even better team every time you do this. And you will turn the team from one who thinks that they're always going to lose to one who thinks, I don't care who is on the other side, we are going to beat them. And we're going to do everything we can to beat them. So think about this the next time that one, you make mistakes, or two, you're losing the game. What you do as the leader on that field has a significant impact. It can either be a small wave that doesn't really help the team a lot, or it can be a tsunami that really sweeps across your team and drives you to victory. So good luck. Ask questions if you have. I'd be glad to answer those. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, click the like button, ask questions in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.